So in this video, I will be looking how to modify the an web page. So let me introduce to you a new concept called models. And models is nothing but in my previous video, I might have noted it out. So it will be showing you a pop-up. Okay, head towards the bootstrap, type model, and if I'm gonna click on show, excuse me, launch model, it is showing me a bunch of data. So model title and so and so. Okay, so I can just close or I can just save the changes. We'll be using this model, but based upon the user click, it should show me the data. You got my point. So we'll be using some JavaScript contents in this model. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'll head towards the blog.php. So in this case, it should be modify. So create a new file, modify hyphen blog.php. Okay, so what we need to do, since the data is already present for every blog, if you want, we can modify the blog data. So where it is the delete, we'll copy the same exact layout from the delete block. Okay, so instead of copying the back end, we'll just copy the front end. Copy the front end, go to the modify.blog.php, and then what we need to do, we need to modify the navbar. Open the navbar, and in this case, rather than providing an hash or empty URL, let's pass modify blog.php. Okay, so refresh, go click on modify, and we're getting an undefined global variable session. So let's see what's wrong here. Yeah, so since we are not written and we have not started the session, open the PHP, close the PHP tag, and start the session. Session underscore start. Okay, so once this has been done, we would be able to rectify the mistake, and it is asking me an undefined variable, so as usual. So require it once, require the config.php once, require underscore once. See, I made a mistake here. Require underscore once, it should be config.php file. Okay, refresh. So right now the data came. So instead of providing the modify, what I'll be using an button. Whenever the user clicks, it should return me with some data. Okay, so I'll just delete this entire thing, but yeah, so let's copy the classes. If I'm gonna do that, you will also do the same thing, but let's write it. So let's type a button dot btn. Let's go for the bootstrap and let's go for the buttons, buttons buttons. So in this case, let's go for the outline buttons. I'd prefer secondary. Okay, so btn hyphen outline hyphen secondary. And right now let's write some data to check either it's coming or not. Okay, the data is coming. Let's click on modify. Let's rename this part to modify. Right now it has been entered. Now let's learn how the bootstrap model works. So if you visit towards the bootstrap model documentation, so this is a base class. Okay, so how it works. So on the bootstrap session, they have given a few points. These models are built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the main point, and they are positioned over everything else on the document, since the Z index will be higher for this. And the models you can use in the fixed position, or it can be in a sticky position. It depends upon your thing. So right now what you need to do, we need to write a few JavaScript kind of a things. So before we're going to do something, here you can see there is a model button here, and they have provided an example. Okay, so based upon we'll do a loop, and based upon the data it will be fetched. Okay, so we'll give some get request, we'll make some get request, and based upon that get request the data will be rendered. Okay, so this is a disclaimer, this is an experimental thing. So since it has been long time I have not worked on the models, and especially this kind of a thing I have not worked. So I would be creating a new page, and I would have been creating
That's true.
uh,
There are
few
no
more
consequences.
pages
அதையும்
other.
தாண்டி ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு கிரியேட்டர் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஒரு
Oops,
கிரியேட்டர் பி
just
இருக்காருன்னா அவர் வந்து
I'll just exit this video. Yeah, so where I was, since it's an experimental thing, let's give a try. So the things are, well, let's copy this button and replace it with this button, but make sure instead of primary, it is secondary. Outline outline. Okay, better, let's make another thing. Let's copy these classes. So from data bs toggle till the example model. Okay, copy this, and I think I have not copied that. Copy this entire thing and paste it inside this button. So once it has been done, right now would have been getting some error in the JavaScript side. Let's check it. So press Ctrl plus C console and refresh. So the moment I'm click on, it is showing me cannot read the properties undefined. That means this button, especially this model, has not been called. So let's copy this and I'll paste it below here. Okay. If I'm going to refresh, if I'm going to click this, the model is rendered. If I'm going to click this, the model has been rendered. Now let's use this kind of a data. Okay, so Control All, right click, format the document. Right now the document has been formatted. So let's try to print the IDs. So dollar, let's use the PHP, close it, uh, dollar ID, dollar row with an ID. Okay, so if I'm going to click on this modify, my bad, echo, I have not written the echo. Refresh, click on modify, it is showing me 2. And if I'm going to click on modify, again it's showing me 2, but it shouldn't show, because since when it started looping, it should only show the ID where it has been rendered. Okay, so let's fix that issue. So whenever I'm refreshing something, you can see modify to, 1 second, why this ID is always coming to, go to the blocks. Okay, 2 and 4, instead of the ID 2 and 4, we are getting only 2. Yeah, as I knew it. So this is rendering only one particular data. Let's fix it. So let's cut this outside and I'll paste it this outside the PHP code. If I'm going to click on this, it is prompting me with this kind of a data with the three dots. Okay, so let's use some JavaScript. Based upon the JavaScript, we will add the contents. Okay, and if the JavaScript is feeling very difficulty for you, then we'll go ahead with a new one. But first, I'll go in a traditional way. Since I said it's an experimental thing, we don't have sufficient time. And if I'm gonna write the JavaScript variables, it's gonna take more than half an hour. But let's finish this video in another 6 minutes. Okay. So let's cut this. Okay. Right now we are having. We'll just delete. Let's click on back to this. The moment I'm gonna click on modifying, we'll just write instead of the modifying blob. So create a new file as modify hyphen WRIT, right? Mm, modify hyphen write hyphen blog dot php. Okay, so as usual, so what I will be doing, as you know, in the single blog, where is the single blog? We'll copy this entire layout and we'll paste it inside the modify blog. But in this part, we'll be writing an anchor tag. Okay, and go to the modify. Here, let's give an href. href equals modify hyphen what was the file name, w or it hyphen blog dot php. So this should go This is not working. Okay, my bad. So instead of using the button, let's use an A tag, anchor tag. Okay, I'll just clear this and I'll just show you the shortcut. So let's write an anchor tag, class equals btn hyphen outline hyphen secondary. So right now the href you can write it, but before that we'll just write a modify, and here the path would be modify hyphen write hyphen blog dot php. Let's give a try. Yeah, it's coming here. Undefined key array ID. So we have not started anything other than copy pasting it. So let's provide one query parameter with the query parameter and open the ID equals, open the PHP tag. Inside this type echo dollar row and it should be ID. Close it. Okay. So right now if I'm going to click on here, it is showing me the ID. So we are passing the ID, but here instead of using an input element, what I'll be doing, I'll be just writing an input. Okay, so instead of an card title, I'll be making in the forum. Okay, control all. Let the card title should be we'll add modifying. Click on here, modifying YIM. So let's provide a two semicolon modifying why this is used to. Okay, so we'll delete the other two since we want to know in which we are present. Okay, so let's use the input input bar with the text. So let's use the floating bar, floating labels again. Head towards the blog dot write. So where is the blog write? Right, yeah, inside of right it's present. So here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this entire both the things from this forum. Let's copy this entire forum. Oops. And if you want you can write by yourself. So go towards the modify blog right blog and paste it below here. But the thing is what we'll be doing, instead of providing an placeholder, sorry, instead of not only providing copy pasting this, what will I'll be doing, I'll be writing and block value. The value would be, open the PHP and close it. At this point we should write the title. Okay, the I'm not gonna modify the author because we cannot modify the author name. So echo dollar row, what is the row name for the title? It's title. Okay, right now it should be showing something like this. And now the content as usual for the content. So I'll just go to the view word wrap. So everything is in the single screen, and here what I will be doing, I'll be doing the same thing. So instead of providing the name, I'll be providing a value equals, oops, oops, sorry, I got lost. Open the PHP tab and close it. So right now buggy keyboard again. Open the PHP tag and close it. And right now what I'm gonna do, I'll be pulling the content. Okay, it should be echo dollar title, sorry, content. So once this has been done, I think I'm making some mistake. Okay, so since this is an text area, I'll just paste it inside I'll just undo this. Let's paste it inside this text area. Okay, PHP echo dollar row, and its content dollar UNT content. Okay, and refresh it. There is some UNT content. Close it. Yeah, right now this has been rendered. Okay, so if you want, now let's modify this function, but make sure we need to provide an ID. So if you want to clear, you can click on clear, or okay, since we are modifying it, we'll remove this button, and we'll be providing two new things in this part. So those new things are, okay, I'll just refresh. We are getting a post. Okay, that looks good. So right now what I'm gonna do here, I'll be uh, providing a submit button, but we'll be modifying this code above here. This code will remain same, but we'll be adding a new code. Okay, so that code is nothing but if any user is making a post request, so that is I set. Yeah, it is I set within dollar underscore post, since it's a post method, and the submit. We'll wrap it inside an if condition. If we're getting any kind of request, what I'll be doing, first I'll require the ID. So we have not generated any ID here. So what I'll be doing, you can write it anywhere inside the form. It would be text, and let's check the ID is present above or not. So we have not fetched the ID. Okay, so let's get the ID, or else we can use that row to fetch the ID here by using $row method. So it's better to write it inside here. Dollar ID equals $row with ID. Once this has been completed, let's come down here, and where is the input type? It should be name is ID. The value will be echo. Oh, sorry, it's in the PHP, right? PHP $ID echo echo $ID. We're getting the ID. So right now we'll hide this. So style display none. This is making some sense. So right now what's happening here, based upon this ID, we'll send it to here, and if that ID is present, we'll modify that. Okay, let's use the update command. This. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'll be using dollar title and dollar underscore post. Oops, it's a percentage. Dollar underscore post, it is title, and for the content, it would be content. Okay, since we already declared content above here, we'll just use it as modified content, and the title is also above here. We might face some issues with that. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just use it as modified and modified title, as well as modified content equals dollar underscore post, followed by the content keyword. So as you guys know how to use the update query, since we do only require, I will be only updating these two data. Okay, so for that, mm, the query is dollar. Right now we have not written anything such as update except than the query variable. So update underscore query equals, so the key update which table name blocks. Okay, right now once the blocks table has been set in, use the set keyword to which table. It's title equals dollar modified title. Okay, so it's a modify. Let's verify because we shouldn't make anything awesome, anything go wrong in this part. Modify title and use a comma, and the second thing will be the another column name. It's content. I made some mistake. So content equals modified dollar modified content, and we need to use a where clause. Okay, where uh, where id equals, we forgot to pull the id, so the id will be sent from here. So make sure this id is present in the first place. Dollar id equals, where it is dollar underscore post id. So dollar id equals, where id equals dollar id. Let's modify one block here. So if I'm gonna refresh, nothing is here. So you can see it is showing us modified block. So once this has been done, we need to update, we need to run this query as usual. If my SQLi underscore query, and it requires two para arguments. The first argument is dollar link, and the second one is the update query. And if it is successful, um, query updated successfully. So just print it out, echo query updated, blog updated successfully, and we'll write an header function. So in this case, the header function we'll be using with a refresh functionality. So in the double quotes, ref refresh. Okay, so we'll directly move on to the header function. If it has been successful, it will directly redirect us to the index.php. Okay, location colon. I think it's better to go for the modify section. Okay, so modify modify block.php. That makes some sense. Else echo fail to modify. Okay, so right now it has been done. We'll refresh it, and you can see modifying while lorem is used. And this is a modified blog. If I'm gonna click on post, okay, it is showing me some title and the content undefined key array 28 and 29. So on the 28 and 29. So these are the two things where I'm missing. Okay, sorry. So this is the block title. Instead of providing the block title, I have provided as a just a title. I'll do the same thing for the block content. So copy and paste it here. And right now, if I'm gonna refresh and click on continue, another error. Okay, let's use this double quotes ID. Sorry. Let's use this variables in double quotations. Let's try to refresh it. Yeah, so this is a modified blog. So right now we have successfully modified our blog here. So as I said, 15 minutes, I took additional 10 minutes. But if you want to go for the JavaScript, even it might take more than an hour, you guys to understand and for me to create also. Okay. So if you want, I'll show it in the JavaScript kind of a version. Okay, if I want to modify this data, and hope you can see here, modify, and there is a lengthy table here. This makes it for easy. I'll just hit on this and give me some real dummy text. Let's go for the dummy text. So here we are having something as a scenario. I'll just copy this entire thing, go to the bootstrap, paste it here, post. So if I'm gonna click on home and if I'm gonna click on view more, the blog has been modified. So that's all. So this completes a simple blog mini project for you people. It's a very simple and it's very beginner friendly and easy. So in the next video, we'll look how to add post at the same time. We'll add some stylings to it. Okay. See you in the next video.